Hey everybody, welcome to our CSS Selectors video. My name is Sean from OpenWeb, and today we're going to be discussing how you actually select HTML elements using CSS. There's a wide variety of these, so this is going to be one of our more advanced tutorials, but these are only a few that there really are. There are many more that we're not going to discuss, but these are the ones that you really need to know. So to begin, this is the first thing that I like to do when I program my CSS is an asterisk. An asterisk selects every single HTML element on the page. Commonly on most websites, you'll see that most web designers like to set their margin to 0, padding to 0. These set defaults so that elements are not like really pushed out and there's no extra white space on the page. By setting the margin and padding to 0, it makes it so it's pushed up right against that corner, and you can set your own margin and padding how you feel like you need to. The next one we're going to go over is the pound or the hashtag. This makes an ID. So we're going to do pound ID. This can be called by using a div element, div ID, or realistically any element in CSS. ID. It can even be used for the body. So we're just going to say color blue, and our text color is now blue. IDs are realistically only used in HTML, just meant to be once. They really have the same function as a class, which is defined by period in the class name, but classes are meant to be used more times. This isn't really enforced. This is just kind of a de facto thing that HTML programmers really utilize, but it's just kind of an assumed thing. So on my div here, I'm going to put class h1 world. So even though the div class is specified up here, all of its children within it, this is the parent up here, this is the child, will be defined by these same attributes as we mentioned in CSS. So if I say font size 12 EM, that applies to the H1 within it. However, if I were to go and do H1, which is another valid CSS selector, this will select every single H1 on your HTML page and put color green. This will override the parent within it. Next CSS selector I'd like to discuss is the comma. So you can use P, which will select all P elements, and div, which will select all div elements. It will select them both despite where they are on the page, and it will select all of them because there's no specific class name. So we're going to say color green, and to override our previous ones we have up here, we're going to do exclamation point, important. This is a protocol used to override any previous CSS and is really used when you want to make something specific and kind of different from how everything else is defined. Next CSS selector I'd like to go over is, let's go with div h1. This will select all h1s that are inside of divs. So if I were to make div then h1 down here with no specific class names, let's take out that important because it's currently overriding our CSS. This will override, as you can see here. Next CSS selector I'd like to go over is, we're going to go with div h1. This specifies all h1s that are directly inside of a div, which is like we see up here. You could have other div elements inside of there, and it would still apply. Color purple, important. Color's purple. Another one, div plus h1. This selects all elements that are directly followed by a div. So if we took this out and nested the h1 inside of another div element, it won't apply. Actually, it would apply because those are both divs, so we're just going to mix it up and say article. Article. Take out that extra tag. There we go. Let's go with cadet blue just because it's on there. And that doesn't work. It's not selected because the h1 isn't directly followed by a div, so the plus isn't the one we want to use. So these right here are our basic CSS selectors. The ones that you'll probably use the most are these four up here. These are lesser common ones, but still very important on making your website exactly how you want it to be. Just to refresh, we're going to use our asterisk to select all HTML elements, our pound hashtag to select IDs, classes, and then these also work with the comma. You can also use these with class names. So the class, and the div will both have the color green. All H1s select directly preceded by divs, and etc. This has been a very introductory one. You can, really the best way to learn this is through application, and once you start coding your CSS, I've just coded about 25 lines in just a minute. It starts to become very lengthy, and you'll get a lot of practice with this. So this has been Sean from OpenWeb. Have a good day.